What's going on, YouTube? It's Rickzilla here with another stream. Tonight, I'll be covering the article that most people should definitely get a look at. This is going to be the second or third attempt at me doing a stream covering a quickie article that basically laments the insanity that is Christine Wesson Chandler, also known as Chris Chan. For those who are familiar with my channel, you might not like knowing about how I compare certain individuals to said man-child, but there are examples of people that I have made comparisons to. Some of them you already know about, while others you would like to take a look at. That being said, let's get into the article. Tonight's quickie article, of course, is all about Chris and magical thinking. Now let's get started. The spirit of Patty will have his soul for dinner tonight. She will be haunting your nightmares, Mr. Leary. Chris, Asperchew is a horrendous joke. I also believe in psychic powers. Have been developing some for myself with binaural beats. I am literally bending paper with my mind waves, and I can only get better with practice. I would use my powers for good, including the possibility of levitating myself to fly. Chris, doopy emails. Magical thinking is the belief that one's own thoughts and rituals can influence reality. The behavior is common with young children in the egocentric stage of development until they age out of it after developing cognitive thinking. Chris, on the other hand, maintained a habit of magical thinking well into adulthood. Examples. While Chris has used the Kamehameha, in reality, he never took it too seriously, at least until he used it on Liquid Chris in a video. With the kidnapping of Liquid, he then realized that he had the power to really curse people. He also developed a new ability to bless people via the forgiveness blessing skill. He honestly seems to believe that these powers are real, even stating in one video that if it works, then he knows he has the power. Chris later stated in a music video that if people antagonize him, they will be cursed. But if you're true and honest, you will receive blessings. The most notorious example is the Kamehameha, the power that which bestows terrible fortune upon the recipient. Chris performed this curse on innumerable occasions, both over the internet and in public. He has even entracked the curse on he has even retracted the curse on at least 3 occasions, with a forgiveness blessing which further cements Chris's belief in its efficiency. Voodooism. In Chris's case, he seems to believe that his tirades and tantrums will somehow affect his perceived enemies. His attacks on the clown doll, for instance, are a metaphorical threat, but also suggest an attempt at somehow literally harming the trolls through sympathetic magic, like a voodoo doll. He views his revenge against his enemies in the comic or in Soul Calibur 3 as being equivalent to actual revenge, rather than simply venting. That kind of sounds like Shani when she was playing Grand Theft Auto and running over people, pretending that they are members of the Geek Room, Dragnot, Burnt Toast, and many others. But I digress. Now, let's get back to it. In September 2013, Chris created voodoo dolls out of Lego to represent Megan Schroeder, Michael Snyder, and Mary Lee Walsh, people who refused to cave into Chris's demands, earning them the title of the top 3 fiends and enemies of Chris's lifetime. He derived satisfaction from tormenting the dolls by shaking them in a container and leaving them upside down. Chris again used voodooism as part of his tantrum over P-Mert becoming president. Upon learning of the election results, he kicked a Transformers toy meant to represent President-elect Donald Trump. Following this, he created effigies of Trump and Vice President pick Mike Pence out of Lego and hanged them. Spirit Realm. The world of Quickville is also a spirit realm where Chris is almighty and can create and shape it as he pleases due to his power of creativity. It exists outside but parallel to the real world. And sometimes Chris seems to believe that it's a real place, even if it's just imaginary. The idea of this spirit realm became more valid when, in a video, Chris claimed that the soul of his dead dog would devour Alec Benson Leary's soul and haunt his dreams. Through Chris's perception of God as an instrument of his will comes the delusion that he has magical powers that will permit him to eventually succeed over the enemies that he is unable to dispatch by any more conventional means. Chris's sorcery was among his more egregious behaviors that were not merely atypical of a Christian, but in fact explicitly prescribed by his faith. Galatians 5:19-20 lists witchcraft as one of the more blatant acts of sin. And Exodus 22:18 commands, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live." That's right, there's a biblical mandate for Chris's death. Alec Benson Leary, in one of his phone calls with Chris, attempted to point out the thoroughly unchristian nature of Chris's dabbling in black magic. But his reasoning appeared to have little effect. Of course, his magical practices have only become even more blatant since proclaiming himself a CPU goddess, including threatening trolls on social media with supernatural retribution meted out by himself. The Dimensional Merge is Chris's grandest and most convoluted magical thinking to date. The idea guys created the concept and brainwashed Chris into believing it, and he has since made it a major part of his day-to-day life. Chris actually believes he is a goddess who has the ability to merge this dimension, 1218, with alternate dimensions, home to every fictional character created, including his very own Sonichu. For Chris, getting to see Sonichu in real life is probably enough to warrant a fantasy of his caliber, though his motivation for the merge is deeply rooted in personal and very real failures. From his financial woes to his lack of a significant other, Chris plans for the merge to fix his life. Not only will all Chris's funds from Quickville be transferred to him, his polyamorous marriage to 4 Pokemon will be official. If Chris has a problem, you can bet the merge has a solution for it. The Kursehameha, placing bad luck and extreme misfortune on all those who give me grief or hate. Forgiveness blessing cures all ailments of virus and physical qualities. Hono makes gays, regardless of gender, become straight, never to be gay again. Peaceful teaching quells all disputes and disagreements within a 1,000-mile radius and turns all weaponry into dust. Come to me, my woman, locates and attracts 18 to 30-year-old single women within a 5-mile radius. Chris's terrifyingly insane list of spells. Mailbag 23. He also thinks that he has the power to brainwash people into following his commands. Among other latent powers that he may discover when the opportunity presents itself, all of his magic is supposedly powered by his preferred personal relic of du jour, either the medallion or the amethyst ring. How these items came to be imbued with magical properties has not been addressed, nor should it ever be addressed. I pray the soul of my father gives you all nightmares. Chris, using the spirits of the dead. That's a good image. That's a very, very chilling image that would depict Chris's beliefs. Hashtag Sonichu.exe. Chris also appears to believe that he can, to an extent, talk to the deceased. He told Sarah May that when he touched his dead Aunt Karina's hand, he could hear her spirit, along with the spirits of his grandparents and great-grandparents. He also claimed that God Jesus told him to make the trip to go to Julie. Additionally, Chris believes that he can harness the spirits of the dead to do his bidding, notably when he threatened Megan with revenge by him and his father's ghost, and when he warned Alec Benson Leary that his dead dog would have his soul for dinner and haunt his nightmares. During his time masquerading as Jenkins Jinkies on Troll and Train, Chris hoped to dissuade trolls by claiming that his house was haunted, describing an alleged encounter with the vengeful ghosts of Patty and his younger self. Chris apparently believed that trolls would heed this threat. Since 2016, Chris has watched a myriad of subliminal frequency hypnosis videos on YouTube and believes that the marketed effects of the binaural beats he listens to will actually occur. These videos promise bizarre results such as attracting love, becoming a hermaphrodite, and learning telekinesis. Throughout the mid-2010s, Chris added several concepts from New Age spirituality to his shamanism, including astral projection and the third eye, using them as methods to visit his imaginary friends. He also took an interest in mystical rocks, such as healing crystals, keeping a pouch full of them around his neck, even though it caused him neck pain. When asked by a fan how he came to learn of this power, Chris replied they were evidenced by Mary Lee Walsh's reputation going down. I have learned about the curses actually working, firstly when I cursed the real-life Mary Lee Walsh. Then I later heard that her reputation at PVCC went down. Yes, mostly due to my references in the pages. But then things got worse for her. And Even though I forgave her for her misdeed on interrupting my sweetheart search, I feel she definitely got what she deserved for her misdeed. Later, I cursed one specific troll, I forget who. Shortly after, I learned that troll came down with a life-threatening ailment. Chris, mailbag 18. This is textbook magical thinking. This gives Chris a belief of some degree of power over his own life, no matter how illusory. This use of fantasy is considered by the psychological community to be an immature defense mechanism. Well, that just about does it for this quickie reading. It may be short, but I just wanted to get this out in the open in case, well, in case I ever want to come back to it. If you like this reading, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to see more of these readings, feel free to message me on Discord. The link is in the description. Or you can email me at rgjaime91@gmail.com, also in the description. If you wish to support me in other ways, I have a PayPal, which, again, also in the description, as well as a Patreon, again, also in the description. If you want to see more of these videos, be sure to subscribe to my channel and click the bell notifications. That being said, I'm Rickzilla, and I will see you guys next time.